The age of
Call of Duty.
is over. The time
Literally anything
has
else.
come.
Call of Duty. I don't even know where to begin. So obviously with the reveal of Black Ops 4, I just don't know anymore. Call of Duty's dead. Call of Duty it's kind of been dead, but it's limping to the finish line, and I mean people are gonna defend it. I mean you look at the comment sections of videos, and people, it's why it's gonna take so long to die, and it's gonna still, we're probably gonna get a Black Ops 5. It's gonna live long enough for that, and it shouldn't. I mean, I'm probably done. I've played a lot of Call of Duty. I have a lot of Call of Duty games. I've just reached the point where I can't. There's nothing left for me. Call of Duty. It's almost unfathomable what they're doing. I hardly know where to begin. I guess let's just talk about the multiplayer. Like the main multiplayer. It's clearly this awkward combination of Overwatch, Black Ops 3. It looks very similar to Infinite Warfare. Well, basically it was just a ripoff of Black Ops 3, so when people say, Black Ops 4 is just a ripoff of Black Ops 3 without the XO, then yeah, I guess it. But to me, it looks more similar to Infinite Warfare without the XO, even if that's basically the same thing. I just don't know anymore. I mean, I have Overwatch, right? I don't see the appeal of just trying to do what Overwatch is doing with your game because I have that game, right? Why, what is Call of Duty doing right now that's going to make it so good? I mean, you're taking away what makes Call of Duty, and I love Overwatch. I do. I think it's a phenomenal shooter. It's a great game. Why it doesn't match up? It doesn't make sense. And because of that, I don't understand. Call of Duty is so devoid of original ideas. And for the game at the top, right? Call of Duty has formed a community, and it's in a position that no other game is, where even it's proven that it can fail and still keep going. I mean, Ghosts, AW, Infinite Warfare. I mean, there's so many. Black Ops 3 even. Like, just based on community feedback. I mean, Call of Duty hasn't had a slam dunk since Black Ops. Since 2010, since the original. Every other game has had some sort of mixed reception or negative reception. Yet it keeps chugging. Why don't you spend some of those taking risks, trying new things, trying to push forward your formula? This just feels... It's funny just to see Call of Duty in the opposite position. For so long, so many games tore their games down to copy COD. Battlefield Hardline was a lowered skill gap Battlefield, a watered down Battlefield. Halo 4 was blatantly just trying to get the COD community to buy their game. And now you look at Call of Duty and you look at its position. I mean, I feel like it's given up. I feel like we're getting closer here. They've given up that prime November sale launch window, and that was the first sign to me that something's changing, right? That Call of Duty, always was like that first Thursday in November, and that was, that prime position where you're ready for, in the minds of people for that November Black Friday, right? But you're not, but you're still out long enough where word of mouth gets around, you're still popular. It's prime position, and now they're in a position, where they backed up. They're early October, which is still, a competitive window for October, but I think we're seeing, now they're copying the top dogs. But they never win. This is what's so frustrating about gaming, is every time something new comes along, the industry, instead of sitting there and saying, well, Look at Battle Royale. We don't do that. That's the opposite of what we think sells well. That's the opposite of what's popular. And instead of sitting there and looking at that and saying, well, maybe that's proof that we should be trying new things and we should try and build the next big thing and going for the next big thing, they go, oh, well, everybody wants a Battle Royale game right now, but they don't. They have their Battle Royale game. And I'm not saying that genre doesn't have room to go. We're going to get to that more specifically with COD. Kind of just talking about trend setting, right? But, I have my hero shooters of choice, right? Rainbow Six Siege, the class-based, team-based, 5v5 kind of shooter. The Overwatch 6v6 class-based, again, kind of shooter, right? I have those games, and I play those games. I don't need another one, right? Call of Duty has put itself in an active position where it has to be great. It has to be a 8, a 9, a 10 out of 10, like not just from like the IGNs, but from like the Angry Goes and the other reviewers from B Dobbins has to sing its praise, like all the just name your favorite YouTubers, Ackman, Gamertron, like all these guys are gonna have to come out and say, yeah, this Call of Duty's the best Call of Duty, this is a good game, right? To compete with Overwatch, to compete with that game. There's so much competition there, it doesn't make sense to go after there. I have those games. I don't need Call of Duty to be that game. I go to Call of Duty for I had a long day at school, I don't feel like getting my ass kicked in Dark Souls, I just don't feel like it. I feel like hopping on some COD and just playing a chill couple chill, low skill gap, minimal effort, minimal thought, fast-paced, fun action, right? And that's what Call of Duty should be. This is where people will say, it's trying to innovate. For so long, people are, please God, why? It's the same thing every year. Look, they're innovating now, right? That's good. But they're innovating in a way that isn't true to itself, right? And we talk about this all the time in the Halo community. The idea of building, everyone goes, well, Halo's changing, and that's good. You don't want change. You just want Halo 3 repackaged and with a 4, sharpied over the box. Like, see, it's the next Halo, even though it's the same game. We don't. We just want a true Halo sequel, one that builds off of the formula and doesn't change itself to improve itself. And Call of Duty clearly doesn't understand that here. It's just never landed that. Well, it did back in the day. And I think another thing to talk about in regards to Call of Duty changing, why we talk about this, the reason COD has always gotten so much flack, in my opinion, for not changing enough, I actually think COD did a decent job changing with some of the games. You look at the difference between the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare blows Modern Warfare 2 out of the park, and I will fight anyone on that. There was a lot of additions. There were a lot of changes. It was a very different game. Black Ops had a very different feel than some of the other games. You look at Advanced Warfare, it attempted to innovate. You look at Black Ops 2, it attempted to innovate. Yeah, you have your MW3s and, where it's like a blatant ripoff of MW2, like, hobbled together at the last minute. Like, it's its own game, I swear. But the problem was Call of Duty just kept forcing these games down our throat. Activision, every year. Other games changed less than Call of Duty have gotten a lot less flack. Look at like Gears of War. Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 are like the same game. I played the original trilogy and I like Gears. I don't... They do a little bit different things, but it's clearly the same formula, right? It's just, it's the same difference in COD. In one COD game, you have a turret section on a car, and then in the next one, the turret section's on the helicopter, That's the kind of thing, you see in the Gears campaigns, at least. But Gears had, like, 3 games over, and there weren't huge dev cycles, but they gave you, like, a year off or 2, right? In between each game, and it was like, wow, it's almost like I have time to buy the game and enjoy the game. You don't have to be this, like the Grand Theft Auto wait time, where it's like years and years later, like half a decade later before you can experience the next one. Or longer, as we're seeing now. You don't have to do that. What you have to do is just treat your consumer as if they're like a person. And like understand that You don't need to force feed Call of Duty down their throat, because what you did is you just saturated your own market and you made your consumer get bored of it before it could have. You should have been stretching it out. You should have been saying, look, we have a winning formula. We have it. Let's take our time. Let's, through the years, just, and go biannual, And then each Call of Duty release would have been, it wouldn't become a meme. It wouldn't become a joke. It would have been beloved. Instead of Call of Duty just being the thing that people talk about, like, oh, you're a 12-year-old, you play Call of Duty, And it's just crazy to me to think, But I'm also surprised that Call of Duty is going with the future thing again, and I know it's not like exo movement, but to me that was a risky decision, especially since I really wanted a Black Ops 2, not Black Ops 2 era, but like a true Black Ops 2. I want to go back to Vietnam. I want to play in the Cold War, and if Battlefield offers Vietnam, if we go Battlefield Vietnam, like, I think Call of Duty is going to be regretting their decision really bad. To me, I was almost thinking, I'm like, I feel like I'm weary of Call of Duty. I feel like it's time for my, Call of Duty retirement, in a way. I have the games. I can enjoy Modern Warfare anytime. I can play Black Ops anytime. I don't need any more Call of Duty. But I'm like, well, we just went back to boots on the ground. Back in the day, World at War. I actually hate the phrase boots on the ground, by the way. But, we just had World at War. And then after World at War was Black Ops in terms of Treyarch. We just had World War II here. Maybe we're going to get that true Black Ops 2. We're going back to the Cold War. It's Russians, it's Americans. We're fighting in the jungles of Vietnam. We're fighting on the streets in Cuba. Fighting in the frozen tundras of the frozen war camps in Russia. That Black Ops was great, and one of the things that I think it nailed was a unique setting and unique style. I mean, how many games send you to Vietnam? How many games have you fighting in the Cold War? I mean, nobody. Why would you do that? It's like the games go World War II. Where's the next era? I'm looking. Oh, modern era. It's like World War II, modern, or like future. Those are the three eras they know. And the Cold War just gets overlooked, and it was so cool. And I thought I was gonna have to buy this COD, right? Like, if they got up there and they showed a gameplay of someone running around with like an AK-47 or like a FAMAS or I don't know, an MP5 or something, and on the streets of Havana, or in the jungles in Vietnam, with an M16, like, I would have gotten excited. I would have gotten really excited, and I probably, I wouldn't pre-order, because no one does, because if you pre-order, you're lame. But I would have felt like, all right, we're postponing my Call of Duty retirement. I don't feel this Call of Duty, and it's fine if you do, and I'm not trying to hate on you if you do. I'm just surprised at the people that are defending it, that are coming to it. It's like, how dare you? And I'm not saying it's bad. I haven't played it. I don't know if I will play it. But I'm not going to sit here and say, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is trash, because I don't know. It could be great. They could nail that hero formula, and it could be a really great innovation for Call of Duty. To me, though, I don't think it will be. I think it's them trying to copy others. Along those lines, let's talk about the obvious Blackout mode. Blackout. It's so exciting, right? Man, it's almost like I could play Fortnite for free. Call of Duty, I mean, it makes so much sense when you think about it, right? Think about it like this. This move makes total sense. I love it. From a business, from a gameplay standpoint, the consumer is winning here, right? Think about it. Think about how much sense this makes. You're sitting there, you're like, what's the next natural step for Call of Duty? A game that initially and should be a game where fast-paced action, small maps, key control points, power positions by using flanking routes and tactics like that. That's Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty's key multiplayer formula. Why? Like, it makes so much sense, right? It makes so much sense to go make a mode revolving around giant maps, unequal starts when one of its greatest innovations was the customizable class, picking weapons up off the ground in these giant maps, long stretches of sitting in a building and waiting for people to come. It just makes no sense. That's not Call of Duty. It's so un-Call of Duty. It isn't even funny. It isn't even funny. Like, people are stressing about the Battlefield Battle Royale, which is also inevitably going to come. But at least that kind of makes sense. I'm not excited for it, but at least the infrastructure is there where I feel like it won't devour resources. I'm not super worried about it. I don't think I'll play it that much, and I obviously prefer them to not focus on that, as I think Fortnite probably will do a better job. But to me, it just... And obviously, if you didn't know, that was clearly sarcastic. Those comments about it making so much sense, it makes no sense at all. They just want your money. They just want to cash in. They just sat there watching their community get up and just walk away to the Fortnite across the street, and they're like, it's like the classic cartoons, like the Krusty Krab versus the Chum Bucket. You just, want the customers, and you see them walking over to the Chum Bucket, and you're like, oh no, what do we do? We're gonna sell chum now. It's atrocious when you think about it, how little they care about their game and how much they just see it as a bottom line, as money. Other thing I hated from that reveal, when they sat there and they said, remember that moment where you and Reznov, enacted your revenge? Or that moment when you did this or did that? The moment when you got in the chopper with Woods? Or the moment that you stopped Menendez, right? Bring all these flashbacks, back to the glory days of Call of Duty, and especially Black Ops, right? Those stories that are beloved. I also thought it was kind of funny they didn't even mention Black Ops III. They just, that story was trash. We're not even going to deny it. It was all World at War, Black Ops II. That's all they cared about. That's all they focused on. They're I was kind of waiting for them to be remember that moment where you realized that the entire campaign was in your head? Oh wait, that was a trash moment. But they bring those memories back, and you're sitting there and you're excited and you're like, yeah, I remember that. So play Battle Royale. What? No, continue the story. Give us a true. Black Ops 3 wasn't really part of the Black Ops storyline. They mentioned one thing about Menendez the entire story. They're like, Menendez is the reason that our economy is like this. That's it. It's Black Ops, I swear. It wasn't Black Ops. But you could have done a Black Ops game. You could have done a true Black Ops, World at War, Black Ops 2, play into that storyline, into that world. The Masons and the Woods or whatever. And you didn't. You didn't even give us a campaign. You sat there and you said, what do the numbers mean? And the whole crowd clapped, right? What do the numbers mean, Mason? That's an iconic line in Call of Duty. That line lives in the heart of everybody. I mean, people don't realize it, but gaming's young, right? We're forming a culture. Film has its culture. Film has its lines and its films and things that are going to be remembered forever. Call of Duty, gaming doesn't have that yet, right? Or we're forming it. And what do the numbers mean is just one of those special lines. And I don't want to, blow Call of Duty Black Ops out of proportion. I mean, it's not a piece of art, really. But it was special. It was a lot of people's childhood to them. It was a fun game. It was so much fun. And that line just brings back those memories. I mean, it was a great story. And what do those numbers mean? I mean, it has impact in the gaming community. So when you sit there and you say, what do the numbers mean? And everybody claps and you bring back all the best moments we had. All those great moments we had. And then you say, well, player battle royale mode. No campaign for you. We're not making any more of those memories. You want more of those memories? Too bad. Shell out $60 to play battle royale and trash your mode. than you can get for free. I can download Fortnite on any platform, basically, anytime I feel like. And I can play that if I want to scratch my Battle Royale itch. I'm not... I think that was insulting, in my opinion. It's one thing to stand up there and say, look, campaign costs a lot of money, and we don't think it's worth it anymore in today's market, and you can say whatever you want there. I wouldn't find it excusable. I would find it disappointing, but I also understand that not every game needs campaign multiplayer and a co-op mode to boot, especially in today's, as games get more expensive to make. I don't know. I think another reason that it bugs me is Call of Duty is one of the reasons. Like, people go, oh, games are too expensive to make. It's like, did I ask Kevin Spacey to be in my game? Did I ask you to, like, literally pump? Like, you can tell Call of Duty has so much money pumped into its campaign every year. No wonder they're dumping it. No wonder they want to get rid of it. But it doesn't have to be that. How much money did they pump into, like, COD 2? COD 2 has a great campaign. And that didn't have, Gary Oldman or Kevin Spacey in it. You don't need that. Alright, this video is long enough, so I'm gonna stop. In conclusion, Call of Duty, I think I've reached my end. I'll see what the reviews say. I'll see what the reception is, and if people love Black Ops 4, I'll give it a chance, and if not, I might have to sit out this year. And I think we're gonna start seeing the true end of Call of Duty here. I think we're nearing the end of what is a juggernaut. And I think it'll be interesting to see if we see a more balanced future, or if someone else will kind of come along and become that game. But as for now, I guess it's just wait and see on Black Ops 4. But as for me, extremely disappointing. What do you guys think of the reveal? What were you guys' thoughts on Black Ops 4? Will you be buying it? And just like what's your excitement level right now? I'll see you guys later.
Get me some Overwatch.
Be advised.